So, you know we got to start at the beginning of the story. We got to start at the beginning. So, I know you and Ty have some history on the Faces days. I heard you guys had the crazy roster. Can you just dive into that? Talk to me about the Faces days.
Man, so connecting the Hillside Rec thing to it, so I was the man in Hillside. I'm like, man, basketball life. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. My dad like, I got something for you. You ready to go with the Faces? Had no idea what that was at the time. I run dudes. I walk in the gym. The guys like, I'm saying RJ Cole starting point guard for UConn. You got Temple Gibbs. He a pro. Bryce Aiken. He starting point guard for Seton Hall. We got some other dudes. Austin Goodluck. Ray Monsters. All them were there.
Yes, sir.
So we there. Ty there. I'm like.
BA.
I'm like, BA, yeah. I'm like, this a different world. Like,
that sounds like a loaded squad. That sounds like a loaded squad.
I'm like, man, this kind of different. This ain't Hillside no more. You feel me? So, as a kid, it kind of like, all right, maybe I should just go back to Hillside and just feel like that. Listen, luckily I came to my senses. Was like, nah, this is where I need to be if I want to really do something with basketball. I mean,
So you have just like this idea of just like that iron sharpening iron. Just explain what that did to your game. So making that decision. Just
man, I walked in there. I remember. I'll never forget this. RJ like, man, you suck. RJ like a year and a half younger than me.
Well, hold on. Watch how you talk to your senior. I'll bust your ass right now.
So I'll never get that. I'm like, dang, like, I really got to get better for real. Like, you feel me? So, and then after that, just been like, you know how the Baylor had like guard you? That's how it felt. That was the guards in there. So we just got to it, and every day, we just being there making each other better.
Louisiana Spencer, I'll never forget that gym, bro. That was our practice gym. But like that point, like that iron sharpening iron, I feel like that's like a key point of like Faces for me, because I know like, and this is like kind of the backstory. We had like the national championship, and with AAU, 7U, the kids we don't have no control. It's really like the parents dictating everything. So it's like, it was nothing like, and I feel like that's why I kind of felt bad for like me and MJ, because it was like we just happened to be in the middle of a situation that wasn't even for us. We just wanted to hoop. Like we cool with everybody on the team, but then I felt like, after I left, I think that was like 9 or 10U I left. Like, me and MJ ended up being the man at playtime, but like we ain't have that kind of like competitiveness. Like I was pretty much, I'm starting every game, like, and there ain't no debating that. Like, whereas Faces, like, I feel like if I was able to stick there, like, it would have just been going at it and like getting better every day. So I'm like, I appreciate that you brought up that point, because that's what I thought about every time. I'm like, what if I stayed? Like, what would have been like? Just going up against that every day.
Listening to that team too. I mean, you guys had a full. Like, it wasn't a fully D1 team, but you guys had a full collegiate squad. Like, I don't think people realize like how difficult that is to have a full collegiate AAU pro. Like, that's crazy. Like, you're down to your 9th, 10th guy. Like, they're playing college basketball. Like, somewhere, whether it don't matter where it is. If you can play college basketball, you're built a little bit different than most of the rest. Because not a high percentage of players, get that chance to play at that next level,
100%.
So, I mean, like I was saying, iron sharpens iron. I'm sure talk about some of those practices were like, man, I'm sure you got some stories, man. There was some wars going on.
A whole bunch. Like, even leading up to college, like, it got even worse at St. Anthony for me.
Oh, man. I'm sure. Trust me. Look, we got some. Oh, man. Y'all want to talk about a squad? His St. Anthony squad was ridiculous, man. Oh, my God. A lot of those. That squad was ridiculous. One of the best high school squads I think I've ever. Definitely one of the best high school squads I've ever played against. I don't know about y'all. That's definitely one of the best high school
I used to get tight. It was a summer league, Hamilton Park, that like in Jersey City. And like St. Anne's, like everybody be on nationals, they'll be like kind of on the circuit all summer. Like they sending their JV team out there still kicking niggas ass with like 20 points, and I'm like, damn. Then playoffs hit, Shy, RJ, everybody come home for playoffs.
We had the time to pull up only when it mattered.
They all pulled out the full crew and just continue what they was doing on the circuit. They were like,
all right, man. So we'll take it to St. Anthony's then. You're at St. Anthony's, Let's talk a little bit about that commute from Hillside to St. Anne's. I know it's not probably the easiest commute. What was that like? Talk about some of those early. I know you probably woke up some early mornings trying to get down there. So tell me a little bit about the commute to St. Anne's.
School started at 8:20, bro. I'm up at 6, just because the traffic is crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Going toward New York alone in Jersey City, right toward the bridge, right where St. Anthony at.
Yeah.
So we get up at 6 in the morning. My dudes come knock on the door. It's time. I'm like, Golly. Then you gotta go to school all day. Right after school, you got study hall for an hour. Coach Shirley was not playing that. Study hall right after school. We're right to it. All right, cool. Right after that, you might have to lift. Right after lift, we go to practice. So it really was like college. Already, like, you know what I'm saying? So
I was gonna say it sounded like a college atmosphere. So do you credit, Coach Hurley for, I guess, getting you mentally prepared for college for sure?
For sure. Especially physically ready too. Like my senior year, we lifted like 2-3 times a week. Like my senior year, I started to fill out a little more. I'm like, I felt stronger. Like I'm saying, we played against other teams. I'm like, all right, I feel the difference now. And then that was a major difference. The years prior, when we kept losing to Roselle, they were just physically stronger than us. Like, Isaiah Briscoe was a man for real. He was a strong dude for real. Chris Silva, Matt Bullock, they was. Even Tahir Pretlow, he was a stocky dude. They had some size for real. So going into my senior year, like, we got a new strength coach, and he kind of changed it for real.
Right. I don't think high school coaches get enough credit for that, honestly. Getting their high school players prepared for the college game. That's a huge, for those who want to go on to the next level, that is part of their job. Building those study habits when you were in high school already, showing you how giving you a broad brush of how college is going to be, because it's not easy. It makes that transition a whole lot easier. I know. Did you guys, how was your transition for either of you guys? I want you guys to talk about it too.
No, I think, and to that point, like, I feel like high school coaches, they have to, like, get out of the mind, like, they have to really get out of, like, position, like, putting players in positions too. And I feel like that's something that changed for them. Like, you see a dude that's 6'5" or 6'3", like, make him the center. Like, when you've been in those ages, like, he don't grow no more, you a guard, so you need guard skills. But no, I think that's kind of, like, important. Like, I know that we had a coaching change our senior year, and you could, like, kind of see the difference. And there's, like, no disrespect to our old coach, but, like, it was much different getting ready, like, practices, and, like, study hall was, like, always a thing now. So, like, transitioning coaches. So I think it wasn't an element of, like, being able to hit the books and do that. And then also, like, what are you doing in practice? So I started to feel like my practices had a lot more purpose when we, like, kind of made that coaching change.
100%. And just to build on Ty's point, I felt like we just had a culture. And just prior to that point, it just kind of felt like, we were 15 dudes just, hooping together. But that senior year, we had a culture. Everybody bought in. Everybody was on the same page, and we had accountability with it too. I think a lot of these high school coaches, especially ones who have the favoritism with their favorite players, they giving them the ultimate green bean look. Shoot whenever you want. I ain't gonna get mad at you. You don't got to play no defense. And then when you go to college, and you don't have that coach who thinks you're his favorite, now you're wondering, hey, why is coach on my case all the time? Why keep yelling at me? So I think definitely you need to have that structure and accountability.
Yeah, I can definitely say personally for me, my high school experience, I think my coach really just helped me, further along my basketball IQ. I think I started to look at the game differently when I was in high school, learn, like, just from simple stuff, so simple, from, like, I'll even give this as a specific example, like, the screen, he always used to say the screener is always open. Like, the dude who screens, whoever sets the screen will always be open most of the time. Like, that was one thing I took into college. Like, I still take it to the courts now. I'll set a screen. I'm like, yo, I'm going to be open. Like, whether it's a slip or I'm going to pop out open. Like, yo, if you set a good, solid screen, bro, 90% of the time you're going to be open. Like, so just, I think that's just a huge part of the high school nature and high school coaches.